All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It is Southside's Live with Johnny here on Casino Gaming TV. Cross your fingers. We may or may not. That's the wrong screen. We may or may not be able to do a full show today. I don't know what's going to happen here. We're gonna give it a go. We're gonna find out actually if T-Mobile really is America's fastest network. Because I have no internet. So I'm on my phone. I got my phone set up as a hotspot. So we'll see if my phone's hotspot can support a full show. And again, I'm in the basement. I'm in my closet with the door closed. So if my phone can hang on and do an entire show today, holy moly, wouldn't that be amazing? Then I can actually send them this episode and get a new sponsor. We'll see. I've actually been a T-Mobile customer for a long time. Sidetrack, I've been a T-Mobile customer for a long time. Remember back in the day, God, this is going back about 15, 20 years, maybe 15 years ago. T-Mobile is based out of Seattle, and they're huge network out there. But we were always, I think we were with Verizon for years and years and years because Verizon had the best network back then. Anyway, T-Mobile hired a new CEO. And I'll never forget it because one of my friends used to work there, and I coached baseball with the guy. And he goes, "Hey, I was just at a staff meeting." He's like, "T-Mobile is giving everybody the finger next week because you won't believe it. They've been working on this thing in secret. They're giving the whole world the finger coming up here." And so that next Monday they announced the $25 thing. You remember this whole thing? It was like, I said, $25, unlimited text, unlimited talk, unlimited data, everybody in your family. Right. And I'm like, that's, the first time anybody ever thought of anything like that. Right. So they did it, pulled everybody in, right? Me included. We're like, no more paying $195 a month for a phone. We went in, me and Kathy. So for $75, we had Zach at the time. $75 a month. We had all the unlimited everything, all the top speed stuff. And within 3 years, they had bought Sprint and they had bought, who else did they buy? They bought Sprint and somebody else, Singular, right? Just bam, just like basically gave the finger to everybody. It was amazing. So yeah, now we're going to see if this can hold up. All right, let's get to it. You'll notice I changed my screens a little bit. Had a little bit of the insomnia last night, so I changed the look of the show here a little bit. So we'll see if you guys like it or not. Here's the bridge, and I'm going to talk today a little bit about opportunity. We'll talk about identifying opportunity, and I'm going to do kind of a mea culpa act this morning. I'm going to actually owe somebody an apology, and I'm going to fess up to something I've said wrong in the past, and really kind of just lean into the math a little bit today. But again, everything you hear me say, everything you hear anybody else on the internet say, right? Filter through this lens, right? Of how does your bankroll? What is your bankroll, right? Do you want to use your bankroll as leverage or to scoop up your losses, right? That's the thing. Some people use bankroll as a hammer, like Waylon, right? He has a huge bankroll because he uses bankroll as the tool to fight the casino's unlimited bankroll. But some people use bankroll as leverage in that way. He does it to handle losses. Jacob uses it for leverage. He uses his bankroll to make bigger and bigger bets as he grows, right? We like to talk about how we view risk, how we see opportunity, if we have discipline to kind of stick through it. Now, today we're going to talk a little bit about opportunity once we get into it. Because I think there's actually something I said the other day, or yesterday actually, to one of our subscribers. And I said it pretty emphatically, and I believe it to my core. However, the math doesn't support me in this. So we're going to go ahead and talk through that a little bit. So let's see who's here this morning. We have a lot of people here. Greg is back. Good morning, Mr. Greg. How you doing? Gary, hope we have high hopes for a show. Me too. Randall Hill saying, I hope we have a good show today. We'll see if it works. I'll tell you what, if the phone hotspot works through the basement, that's gonna be amazing. Yeah. All right. Love Sprint. Sprint was really good. Sprint was one of those Sprint reminded like a Gen Z kind of a company. They were just like kind of just going full tilt. But they spent all their money, right? Like, again, a lot of these companies way back in the day spent all their. Remember, Sprint was the big sponsor of NASCAR for a while, right? That couldn't have been cheap, and now they're not even a company. So it is what it is, right? All right, here we go. Let's hop in here. And the thing I want to say today is this. I made a comment to somebody, and I say this all the time. I say all the time that the guys who are the math guys, right? Just, let me just play the pass line and odds, right? And I say this, you guys have flipped the table, you've given up on the game. Even the don't pass guys, right? Like Greg, right? And Greg will be the first to tell you. Greg, agree with me here. You owe me one. Agree with me. If you're just going to play the don't pass and odds or just going to play the pass line odds and nothing else, right? You've kind of given up on the game of craps, right? You're like, hey, I can't beat it. Recognize I cannot beat this game. Right side, whatever. The best thing to do is play a low house edge play it consistently, grind it out, and do my thing. And I say this, and I don't say this in a negative way. I think it sounds negative when I say it, but you've given up on the game. The game of craps is played on the right side. The game of craps is played for opportunity. The game of craps is played for the long run, the big thing, right? And that's where the excitement, nobody gets excited about the don't pass. Nobody gets excited about the pass line, right? Dr. S, the object is to win, right? The thing is, though, if you're going to try and grind out a win, this is probably the wrong game, right? And I mean that with all sincerity. If you're looking for a low house edge game, if you're looking for basically an average tie over your lifetime with a little bit of a downward spike, not the big downward spike, right? This is the wrong game. You're not going to get to a 0.25% house edge in craps unless you have 100 times odds, right? Go play blackjack. Blackjack's got a lower house edge built into it. It's a 50-50 game essentially, right? The house edge with perfect basic strategy, especially if you know all the different offshoots of basic strategy, you can get it down below 20-30%. That's the game to play if you care about only house edge. Go play blackjack. Blackjack is also a little more susceptible to runs. You can lose 10 hands in a row. You can win 10 hands in a row, right? You can catch a chop quick. You can ladder, as Dr. S says, into a chop quick in blackjack or baccarat. Either way, right? You can work your way through those times. Baccarat even, right? 1.2% house edge, lower than the pass line, right? With single odds. So anyway, those games are more conducive, I think, to grinding, to finding the run that you need to get in and get out, right? They're better in that respect. If you want to play, right? If you want to experience a game where in 30 minutes you can go from 64 across, $64 to winning 10 grand, which you can do in craps. You cannot do that in other games. You just can't, right? I mean, you kind of can. I'm gonna do some quick math. If I do 65, I'll do 65 to the power of 6, and we'll see why that's, or 65, let's see, 65 times 65. You can win even at $65 if you catch a magical run in blackjack or bach at the same size as roulette or craps. You catch a great run, you win about $4,500 roughly. You can make that turn into 10K in craps like that. That's the difference in this game. Craps is a game of opportunity, right? Now, you can grind through it. You can get stuff. You can get to the point where you can have the same outcome as you can on a blackjack table and a craps table. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, right? But the experience of this game is different than the experience of blackjack or bach. People play craps for the experience. They're playing it for the opportunity to have that great run. So if you really care about the edge, play something different. I would say play something different than craps. If you really want the experience of the game, play the game. You want to grind out a profit every day, you can do it in craps. I've shown you how. Greg and I made the Horseman a few years ago. Great grinder strategy, right? It'll work most of the time, and you'll earn your little tiny paycheck and go on. But really, if you're out there to do like the coffee run and make your $100 for the day, this is not the game. There's other games that are better for that, right? Chasing unicorns will lead you to the poorhouse edge for sure, right? But that's what craps is about. Craps is about the unicorn chase. Let's all be honest about it. I mean, it's time. Like, I got to fess up on this, right? Craps is about chasing the unicorn. It is. That's what makes this game fun. That's why there's a billion channels. That's why we do this every day, right? Finding new ways to chase it down or find new ways to kind of grind through and kind of be safe. But again, if you're going to try that, I think there's other games that are better. So let me show you something. And Skill says get out of the hand and double. Here's the thing. As long as you get out of the hand, right, you can double tap and make opportunity money. But as long as you get out of the hand, that's not easy to do, right? And we've learned that. And Dice Data has showed us that, right? His reports are amazing. Getting out of the hand is hard, right? You only get out of the hand about half the time. Less than half the time, actually. And when you get out of the hand, the chances of earning enough profit to call it a winning session is tough, right? It's very, very hard. But when you do, the rewards are here, right? Let's head down to my table really quick. I'm going to show you a couple of things, and I don't want to, kind of quote unquote beat a dead horse here, but I do want to show you some interesting stuff. Let's go down to the desktop layout, and oh my goodness, it's doing that thing again where it's kind of like fuzzy. This camera of mine, I think, has a thing where it's sort of, come on, catch up to yourself. Why is it doing that? It's got this like autofocus crap on it, and I don't know how to turn it off. Hold on. I got to open the app up. Give me a second here. I'm so sorry. Spot. There's a way to make that not fuzzy, and I don't know how to do it. Let's see. If I go to image, HDR, and not HDR, will that make it sort of refocus itself? That's better, right? Okay, let's do that. It should stay there now. I got to click this button to make it like, frick, it goes away. It's like it's focusing on this. You see that? Isn't that weird? That's going to drive me nuts. How do I fix this? Focus. Autofocus turn off, maybe? Oh, that made it worse. Wow. Look at that. Look how gross it is. What is going on? It's like clicking a button makes it do its thing. All right, let's just let's just not touch it. Okay, we'll leave it there. Mouse goes away. Here comes some chips. Okay, let's do a little thought experiment. Okay, now I've shown you. I'm going to show you this twice. Oh, geez, it just did it again. For whatever reason, it's focusing on what's close and not what's far away. I don't know how to fix it. There's a button somewhere that I'm missing. Anyway, you don't need to see the details. Fuzzy is okay. Let's look at the magic run. Okay, the magical run of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits, right? 6 things in a row is the magic. Now watch how much, if you just take 6 parlays, I'm going to take blackjack or Bach as the example. You can do it on red and black and roulette, doesn't matter. We're going to take red chips, okay? We're going to bet 1. I'm going to put it here on the field for right now, okay? Maybe it's 6 field hits. Let's just take, what can $5 look like on 6 in a row? That's what I want to take a look at here, okay? So the magical parlay, you'll be amazed, right? So on hit number 1, you win $5 and you just parlay. We're going to parlay the whole damn thing, right? There's 1. Hit number 2, you win 2 units and you parlay it. Hit number 3, you're going to win 4 units. Now I can make that look like a green chip. Now I have $40 out there, all right? Hit number 4, 40 wins 40. If I stack it up and I get color, now I have 80 out there. On the 5th hit, 80 wins, of course, 80. I can stack all that up. And in fact, I've got now 150, believe it or not. There's a black chip, 150, 160s out there. And the last one will pay you 160, 150, 160. So what does that add up to? 6 in a row, right? 6 and the magical run, right? It pays 1, 2, $320. 320. Do the math. That's 65 to 1. Okay? That's 65 to 1. It's not a bad little outcome. Okay? If you can catch 6 in a row. Now, can you catch 6 in a row? I'll tell you what, I've seen 6 in a row on every game. Right? The hardest game to get 6 in a row on is this game. Okay? But it can happen. When I'm talking about low house edge plays, right? This is an interesting way to play in blackjack. If you take 20 red chips, you have 20 chances to do that. 20 chances, 20 single red chips to do it. Now, what are the chances of this happening? Believe it or not, it's about a 5% chance of this happening. You get a 5% chance of a 50-50 bet winning 6 times in a row. It's about 4.8%. Let's call it 5. 5% of $100 is a nickel, which means this should happen once out of 20. If you're willing to do it, you have a 1 in 20 chance of winning 65 to 1. Pretty good, right? And on blackjack, you can burn that pretty quick, or Bach, whatever else, right? That's the example, right? Can you do this a little safer? The same thing? Sure you can. Now watch this. Get ready to go to school here. What's my favorite way of playing, everybody? 1, 3, 2, 4. This is going to cut your chances in half, okay? But if you win 1, right? You win on your first one, and you add to it, like I always say, make it a 3, right? On your second hit, you win 3, right? If you take 2 units back, which is the 2 units that you put in there, you're out of the hand, according to skill. Now you're back at that level 4 bet, where you would have been anyway. Remember, the other guy did 1, right? Won the first one, won the second one. He's also at a 4-unit bet. 1, 3, 2, 4 puts you at the 4-unit bet with your money back versus the other guy just parlaying to the cows come home, right? That gives you one less crack at it though. Anyway, winning 6 in a row is kind of the secret, right? 65 to 1. That's kind of the magical number. Can you do it in craps? Yeah, but it's a little bit harder. Again, that's a super low house edge way to play. You can do it in the 6 and 8, right? If you take a $6 6 on a bubble machine, right? Or a $10, whatever you want to do, right? Even at 30, it's the same thing, right? You catch 6 of those, which is the repeater bet. It actually pays 90 to 1, right? It pays about 85 to 1 when you do it this way here. If you can catch 6 6s before a 7, that's 90 to 1. Okay, let's play it out. You want to play it out together? We'll see how much this actually pays. We'll do a $6 6. Now watch, same risk. First hit pays $7. And we're going to have to, we'll power press when we can, right? It pays 7, looks like 12. That's hit number 1. I'll put it here, okay? We have $1 in the rack, by the way. Hit number 2, right? What does 12 pay? 14 bucks? We'll do 15 for one, or we'll just do the 14. We'll do 14 bucks, okay? If we go to 24, we have $3 left, right? You could power press here and go to 30. It makes it a little easier if you do. So I'm going to power press with the $3. We're going to go to $30 to make it. Now remember, I'll put $3 here off to the side that we owe. We're into it for $3. Now it's hit number 2, you're at 30. Now let's pay attention here. Again, $5 bet. Okay. 30 pays 35. Right? Looks like 60. You bring the $5 back. That pays off your 3 and you have $2 in profit. Okay. Hit number 4, 30 or 60 pays 70. You can go to 120. Now you have 12 in the rack, which is your money back, plus you're at 120. Hit number 5, pays 140, 125, 140. You can go to 200. You can go to what, 240 with that? Yeah, 225, 240. What I probably do here, let's get this colored up here. Instead of going to 240, right, I'll go to 250. I'll go to 2. We'll stay at 240. We'll stay at 240. It's just easier math. 240. All right, so we have 3, 4, 30, $2 in profit. 240 on the 5th hit. Of course, it pays 280. 200, 275, 280. Now, what does all that mean? Okay, it's a lot of stuff. There's 1, 2, 3, 400, 500, 525, 550, 550. Right? What is that? What is that, by the way? 550. If I do 550 divided by $6. That's 91 to 1. Okay. So the same thing in blackjack, low house edge game, 6 wins in a row at a nickel bet is about 65 to 1. Right. And again, you're a little bit less than 50-50. You're not quite 50-50. On the 6 or 8, you're about 45% chance to get through it, right? You're a 45.6% chance to win a 6. It's about the same chance you have to win in blackjack, roughly. Okay. 6 in a row here, 90 to 1. 6 in a row in blackjack, 65 to 1. Where's the opportunity? It's here. That's the same. And that's why I was going to say the edge is about the same. The opportunity here is more if you're willing to bet just one thing and lean into the whole deal versus blackjack or baccarat. Now, again, blackjack, baccarat, they're faster games. You can get to that point in 15 minutes versus an hour and a half to get to here, right? That's the difference in the two. So I owe an apology, right? And the apology is this. You can play a single bet low house edge play on just the 6 if you wanted to, right? If you're willing to wait for the miracle is 90 to 1. If you want to do the same $5 risk on blackjack or baccarat or roulette, the reward is 65 to 1, not 90 to 1. Where's the opportunity? It's here. Where's the lower house edge? It's there, right? That's the difference in these games. Again, are you willing to go to a craps table and sit here with one bet and let it run? That's the question, right? Let me come back to the other camera because this fuzziness is driving me absolutely bonkers. Let me go back over here. Let me go back to, so horrible. There we go. That fuzzy is driving me crazy. I got to fix that camera. Anyway, the question is this, right? And the mea culpa is this, right? When I said craps is a game of opportunity, if you want low house edge, play something else. And I meant that. But I've also said in the past, the low house edge versus the opportunity of craps, right? It's risk versus reward. Here's a $6 risk, right? Versus a $5 risk. The reward is 90-1 versus 65-1. If you're willing to play one bet and only one bet on this craps table, the reward is better if you're willing to lean into it like that, right? If you're going to try and grind out a win, I think the other games are better. The edge is lower, the speed is quicker, right? And the rhythm is different. Winning 6 in a row on a good shoe or on a good spin of the wheel, it's just a different vibe than trying to make a pass line bet work or trying to, God forbid, get 6 sixes in a row. Okay, that's it. So odds working is here. I was working, and again, I'm actually talking to you almost directly, right? Low house edge players are giving up and making bad bets. I don't believe that, right? I know what you're saying, right? But again, this is a game of opportunity. You cannot do what I just did, 90-1. And by the way, that same math works on the 5 and 9 and the 4 and 10. You're not going to make the massive scores in other games or on the pass line without really leaning in to opportunity. This game provides opportunity like no other game does. It's just got a different rhythm to it. There's different ways to use the winnings to power up and level up and leverage against the house. Craps is very unique in that respect. And I think if you're going to play craps and try and win, actually be a winner in this game, you've got to find ways to lean in. Now, I did it yesterday or day before on Friday, whatever it was, on I did pass line and odds. That was it. Pass line and odds, and I leaned into the wins. If you lean into the wins, you can make it happen. That's a one roll or a one number game. That's a boring one number game. You can make it work, but you got to endure a ton of risk and be willing to lay on one or lean in on a single number. It's just a difficult way to play. If you're going to play a cross, which I know is what odds working is talking through. If you're going to play a cross, you're giving it up, right? It's like I told you before, you're laying 160 to win 35. You're laying against the 7. Same as a roulette player is laying sometimes 30, 40 units to win 2, right? You're upside down so bad. When it works out for you, it'll work out for you like no other game. When it doesn't work out for you, the spike is like here. You cannot have this kind of spike without that kind of risk. You just can't. You can't live in here, right, and have any chance of making any real money. So, am I giving you a secret? No. Am I giving you advice? No. I'm giving you the reality of it, right? Right side craps is the only game in the casino where you can have that crazy spike. The other games, if you make your own spike by leaning in like I showed you, you have a shot at it. You have a better shot to me of grinding out a better win. If you're going to go low house edge, go blackjack, learn every facet of basic strategy, by the way. Learn the count, learn basic strategy moves based on the count, learn every possibility. You can get the house edge down to, I think it's 2.1 or 0.21% in that game, right? If you got it all right. That's a better way. That's a better way to grind it out and wait out the run than this. But this right here, when those rolls happen, nothing else does it. You're not going to catch that kind of juice on a roulette wheel or at a blackjack table. You're just not, right? And I think craps is a tool, just as the other games are a tool. And use all the tools you've got. That's the thing. You've got lots of tools available to you, right? Don't lean on just one thing. So there it is. Right, Greg? This is what I'm saying. But the chances are the same, right? The odds of it are the same of it happening, right? That's the thing you have to realize. If I do the math on it, let me pull my keyboard out here and I'll do it again, right? Because the odds of, can I share my screen here? I wonder if would that work for you? Let's see. If I do this, what are you seeing? No, if I do that, what are you seeing? You're not seeing what I want you to see. Can you see this here? Kinda. I mean, I know it's kind of bad. You can't really see it very good. Is there a better way to look at that? No. Okay. Well, I can't make it any bigger. I don't think I can make this any bigger. So you're stuck with what I got here. So if we do like the simplest possible way of doing this math. Where's my clear button? Okay, so if we do, so the chances of winning 6 in a row, by the way, is 6 to the power of 6, right? That's going to be, hang on a second, 0.5 to the power of 6, sorry. 0.5, come on, 0.5, there we go, right? There's your odds of that happening, right? Having a 50% bet win 6 times in a row, right? You're about 1.5%. And that's the same for blackjack or craps, right? The blackjack bet about 50-50, the 6 and 8 about 50-50. The 6 and 8 actually works like this. You got 5 chances to win it out of 11 ways to succeed, right? Or to get killed. It's about a 45% chance to win on the 6 or 8. 45% chance to win the bet versus the 7, right? So you take a point, it's a 0.45. To get 6 of those in a row is about less than 1%. It doesn't happen that often, right? But when it does happen, it's 90 to 1, right? So you have about a 1% chance of getting a 90 to 1 win. That's where the house edge, by the way, that 10% at the end of it, that's where you're getting the slice off the top. But if you can catch that, you can catch it, right? And it's a little bit better chance in the other games than here, but it's not that different. 0.8 versus 1.1 is not that far off, right? As far as that goes, Greg. So I know it sounds nuts, right? It sounds crazy, but it's not that hard. It's not any harder to get 6 sixes in a row than it is to get 6 wins in a row on a blackjack table. It's all the same. The math of the casino is kind of perfect. And that's what my good friend JB always says. We solved this thing 10 years ago or 3 years ago. He's right. It doesn't matter which one of those things you're going to go for, but I'm saying that the rhythm of this game here allows for more of that to happen on different numbers at the same time versus a single number, right? Waiting for 6 sixes before a 7, a lot harder to do than betting across and having one of them go crazy, and you can kind of stack up and get out. There's a difference to that. And again, craps, I think, provides us something a little bit different than every other game does. Anyway, all that to say, I owe odds work and an apology, and that's what this show is about today. I went at you, not at you, but I answered your question in the chat with this simple thing. Craps has more opportunity. The other games have lower house edge. If you care about house edge, play a different game. If you like the game of craps, play the game of craps. That's what I'm saying. If you like the game, play the game and play it. Don't flip the table and just do one thing. I think that's a little bit more. That's kind of, to me, it's orthogonal to my goal, I suppose, if I'm doing it that way. So, all right, I got to get out of here. Greg wants one more consistently, and again, I'm with you, right? But if I win more consistently at other games, right? You can win consistently in craps if you're very careful and you catch the right rhythm. But other games, I think, afford that a little quicker, and you can do it. So there it is. Every roll is random. There's no math for it. The only math you can do is what I just did, right? The chances of it happening are, right? How often does that really happen? Too big of a math problem for here. All right, I got to get out of here, guys. I see my comment above. Skill and luck. What did you say? Yes. John, I think that $12 6, then regress to 6. You're out of the hand. Double tap. I'm just trying to do a 1-for-1 skill. I'm not trying to show you the way to play. I'm showing you that if you went for it on blackjack and you went for it on craps, the difference in going for it, craps has more opportunity. I don't want to talk about regressions and all that shit as far as different ways to play. I'm talking about if you just pedal down with the same level of risk in game A versus game B has more opportunity in the same set of outcomes with about the same level of risk and about the same opportunity to win. It's a 1.1% versus a 0.8%. You're this close away from having the miracle happen in 2 games. One game, 30 to 1 better payment. That's the difference. We can discuss regressing or the 1-3 and then going for it. Whatever you want to do after that is fine. We can do a million comparisons, and I probably will at some point, right? We've done this before, but the point is the opportunity with a higher house edge bet, because they pay a little bit better, especially if you keep it on the same general probability, is enormously different. That's a 50% difference in payment. It's just interesting. Rosie is out of the bandages. Yeah, Rosie's out finally. My goodness, we went there yesterday. She powered through. She got man alive. Should have been 11 days. It ended up being almost 17 days in the bandage. She's out. She's got a little bit of yeasties in there. No big deal. So yeah, she's good. We get to take her to the park tomorrow. Actually, she has 2 more days, 1 more day of just kind of sitting around the house with them. She's out. So she did a good job getting healed up, and hopefully this did it. She had some kind of weird calcification in between. I can't do it in between her paws, and it's been there for years. We didn't know it. We thought it was allergies, but it was the thing. So it's done. So hopefully she's good. She's all energetic because she's off the drugs now, so it's all good. Tom, you're welcome, of course. I love doing this kind of stuff, and I think, again, when I get into these things like this, we end up proving nothing, right? You end up proving that all the games are about the same if you're staying on the close to even money or close to even chances of winning. The casinos are perfect machines. They really are perfect machines. I think that the imperfection that exists in craps because of the rhythm of the game changes it. It's a different game than the other. It just is a different game. Even though the slice of the off the top can be about the same on the other games, the rhythm of a craps table is different. And I think it's probably the wrong game to try and do a consistent grind. The other games are probably better and more built for that. This is a game that's not built. It's a game that's built for opportunity. Although, like I told Odds working over comments, I love the game so much, I'm willing to play a low house edge. I'm willing to do. The Horseman is about as low a house edge game as you're going to play, right? I play that way all the time. I have given up sometimes. You know what? I can't beat this game. I'm playing the fucking Horseman. Fine. It's fine, right? I don't use the you have given up as a negative. It's just a statement of fact. You've given up on the game. You think you cannot win up top, so you do something simple. That's totally good. Then it's fine to do it. I do it all the time. I do that all the time. So I'm not putting him down or anybody who plays that way or Greg down. It's just a statement of fact. If you're not going to lean into the game, why play the game? I guess is kind of it, right? I'd love to get the answer there. Yeah, there's a great blog that David wrote about that too. It's well done. It's just a different craps is just a different game. That's why we love craps, because it's a different game and it's a puzzle. Like they gave us a puzzle to solve. It's an unsolvable puzzle. You're still going to get your butt handed to you every so often, but the solving of the puzzle is the reason why we chose the game. It's fun. It's a better experience, and it goes back to the bridge. All right, I'm out of here, guys. No more Conehead. She's done with the Conehead. She had 2 cones. By the way, I have a picture of her. Where's the picture of it? I'll find it and put it up here. She had 2 cones. She had a cone, the regular cone, plus a balloon thing that she puts around her. I wonder if I have that photo. Is it my Photos app, or where is that damn thing? It's really, I don't have it. Oh, you know why? I sent it to my daughter. It's in my tech. I'll find it. Yeah, I got a picture of her in her kennel with 2 cones on and the bandage. It's pretty funny. So I'll start tomorrow's show with that one. All right, you guys have a great day. Love y'all. It's 8:00. T-Mobile for the win. T-Mobile for the win. Y'all hear me? T-Mobile for the win. Door closed, basement, 2 bars. I got 2 bars and it made the whole show. So kudos to them. One more thing before we get out of here, guys. We'll get to our little reminder. Better to fail in originality than succeed in imitation. I think I kind of embody that, right? Every day I come out here with, I think, something original to say, and some days I fail at it, some days I succeed at it. I'd rather come out here and sound like a dumbass and admit the next day that I was a dumbass yesterday than go out here and just do the same old shit every single day. So there it is. You guys do the same thing. Lead, don't follow, in other words. All right, be a leader, not a follower. That's how this country was built. That's how your families go forward. That's how you go forward. So anyway, that's my inspiration for today. Love y'all. God bless. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great one. Bye-bye.